Hello everyone. Welcome to Econ 28 discussion. I'm your TA. My name is Yi Liu. And my email address is yil23@uci.edu. And the office hour for my for the discussion is I remember, I think it's 5 to 6 on Monday p.m. and 7 to 8 p.m. on Tuesday. But let me double check to see if it's accurate. Oh, sorry. It should be 6 to 7 p.m. on Monday. And 6 to 7 p.m. on Tuesday. And for the office hour, we will do it this way. So we will do it by appointment. Since everything is online right now and it's held by on a remote setting, so if everyone is coming to the Zoom office hour, it's gonna be a disaster, right? And I wouldn't know who is asking a question, who is talking to me, or who should I answer the question first. So let's do it by appointment, and everyone, if you want to attend office hour, email me a time slot, say a 10-minute time slot, right? If my office hour is from 6 to 7 on Monday, then if you want to come to the office hour, you can reserve say 6 o'clock to 6:10 p.m. time slot. And I will email you the link for the office hour. Is that I think that's a better way just to hold the office hour online. And all of the discussions, including this one, will be recorded, and we won't have our normal discussions at the designated time. Everything is gonna be online. I'm gonna post the videos, and you can obviously watch other TA's videos if you want to. And especially since our discussion is on Monday, we haven't talked too much yet. This is week 1, but technically we just had week 0, and you had 1 lecture. We haven't done much yet. So if you want to attend any TA's discussion, I'm not sure, maybe on Wednesday or on Thursday, I don't know their discussion time, but feel free to do that, because everything's online, so you can just watch their videos if you want to. And today I really don't have much to cover. Let me see if I'm still missing something. My name, my email address, my office hour. Yeah, today I really don't have much to cover. If you want to ask me any questions, feel free to email me. And if you have any questions regarding the homework, I don't think you have a homework yet, but if you do and you have some questions, you can always email me or just come to the office hour. Or if those times don't work for you, simply let me know your availability, and we will see if we can just meet at another time. Other than that, I think all of the administrative matters are done. By the way, for the email, definitely keep in mind that I'm not around my cell phone or computer all the time. So if you email me and I haven't replied within, I don't know, like an hour or two, don't panic. I will get back to you definitely within 48 hours, okay? And if it's on weekends, expect if you email me on Friday, I may get back to you on Monday, because I simply don't check emails over the weekends. So if you do have anything urgent, such as, I couldn't attend a midterm or something like that, definitely email the head TA, which is, I don't think she's in our course. I think she's the TA for the professor's other course, but I think the professor also emailed her contact information to you already. So if you have any emergency like that, email the head TA. I'm not in charge of arranging the midterm time or final times. And yeah, I think that's all for the administrative matters. Let me start with the first week's materials. So for the first week, for week zero's material, you learn 10 principles of economics. So most of these principles are conceptual. So we don't really have. I'm not sure if other TAs can give you concrete examples to show how maybe these things could be tested in the test, but I couldn't think of anything that we can put it on the test. So I think the main takeaway from the 10 principles is definitely the marginal cost and marginal revenue. But these are the concepts you haven't learned yet, so we're gonna talk about them maybe in 1 week or 2 weeks. So the main takeaway from last week's material is probably just the opportunity cost and opportunity cost. I think a lot of people are really confused about opportunity cost, and when I was taking the class, when I was in undergrad, when I was in college, my first year, I was also a little bit confused because what is opportunity cost was different from opportunity cost between opportunity cost and other costs, right? If I pay say $5 for an In-N-Out burger, does that count as opportunity cost? So opportunity cost is what you have to give up to gain what you want. So that sounds a lot like cost. Say, I want an In-N-Out burger and I spent $5, so that's what I gave up, right? So what is the huge difference between opportunity cost and just cost itself? I think a better way or better definition is what you have to give up that you could have potentially gain or use in other ways. I think adding this sentence or adding this little part, extra part, will probably clear things up a little bit. So for the $5, if I spend $5 on an In-N-Out burger, this is just a normal cost. This is just a financial cost I incur when I purchase anything. This is not an opportunity cost. But what is this opportunity cost? What's the opportunity cost in this case? It's not $5 itself. This is not the opportunity cost. What's the opportunity cost in this example? It's really what other things you could do with this $5. When you purchase this burger with this $5, you give up the chance to say, I don't know what we can do with $5. Maybe buy a large drink. So the real opportunity cost is all of the chances that we could use this money in other ways. Say maybe a large drink that I could have bought with this $5, but I chose not to since I spent this $5 on an In-N-Out burger. Or say maybe $5 on a lottery ticket. And etc. Basically just anything that I could have used this $5 to spend on to enjoy, but I chose not to because I used this $5 on the In-N-Out burger. So another example is, I think it's very classical and very typical, and I think the professor also talked about it in the lecture videos, is what's the opportunity cost? Opportunity cost, OC stands for opportunity cost, for going to college. So basically, I assume most of you are freshmen and you probably just came to school and you're enjoying your life right now. Obviously, in a not quite traditional conventional way because of the COVID situation. But again, you still you I think some of you may enjoy being a freshman, but in a remote setting, it's quite a different experience. So what's the opportunity cost for coming to college, right? You could have chosen some of you some of your friends chose to work. You could have chosen to work instead of not coming to instead of coming to college, right? So what's the opportunity cost for coming to college? Maybe some of you will say tuition. Some of you maybe say I don't know, just living expenses. But are these opportunity costs? These are not opportunity costs. Again, these are the money that you spend on purchasing these things. Naturally, you will use the money to purchase anything, right? So these are not opportunity costs. What's the opportunity cost is when you spend the money on this tuition, that your opportunity cost is the chance that you could spend on the money. You could spend the money on something else. Say maybe investment on a house, something like that, or payment to a car. And opportunity cost could be not just monetary. It could be also your time, right? So now it's the real opportunity cost. My time. The time that I spent in college, it's at least maybe 4 years, right? Some of you may finish it earlier, 3 years. Some of you, like me, I took a fifth year. So that's actually a lot of years in our youth. We could have used these years to, I don't know, maybe travel, maybe enjoy our lives, maybe work to save money, but we didn't. We chose to come to college. So the time is a huge opportunity cost in this case, because we were I was giving up this chance, and I think you're also giving up the chance to do other activities. Instead, you chose to come to UC Irvine, right? And also you could have worked at this when you graduate from high school, but you chose not to because you came to UC Irvine. So all these 4 years of potential earnings that you could have made by going to find a job or by working right after high school is gone. So the time and the potential salary you could have earned by working instead of coming to UCI, right? And also it could be there may be many other opportunity costs. It's definitely not just these two, but these are just some classical examples to show you, well, if you made some choice, there's definitely an opportunity cost in that. Also, I think maybe as trivial as should I study now or should I play a game right now? Opportunity cost for studying. Or maybe coming to the lecture. Or going to lectures, or whatever you want to call it. So you may not face this struggle yet, but I assume that you will eventually when you get into sophomore year or maybe like a third year. There is this huge struggle always that, should I go to the lecture? Maybe I should just skip it, and why don't I just stay in my apartment and play some games, or play my PlayStation 4, right? So yeah, there are just always more fun things to do instead of going to lectures, right? So when you in this case right now, of course, you don't really suffer that because you can just, I don't know, turn on a Netflix show, but at the same time just put your laptop on the side and peek the lecture videos once in a while to see what's going on. But if you are in the lecture hall and making the effort to cross the campus to come to the lectures, I'm not saying it's a huge cost, but it's definitely a cost there, right? And also the opportunity cost could be large because you're giving up the chance to use this time to entertain yourself, or maybe just have a good sleep, or maybe just have a good drink with your friends, or party with your friends, or whatever. So opportunity cost for coming to lectures could be, I don't know, the time you could have enjoyed by doing something else. But similarly, the opportunity cost for playing games could be, well, if the final is right around the corner, but I'm playing games right now, the opportunity cost could be, well, I'm not studying enough. So I could have used this time to study, but I'm not. So there are many examples for opportunity cost, but just don't mess around opportunity cost with cost itself. Cost could be monetary, but opportunity cost can be monetary, or can be this kind of concept like time, like even just these potential gains. So opportunity cost could be a little bit harder to understand or calculate sometimes, and I guess it's just never easy to fully calculate opportunity cost itself, but nonetheless, it's an important concept to keep in mind. And a few more examples, or maybe a few questions that we could have given in the exam is, say that for example, you're working as a part-time now. As a part-timer at a local restaurant. And you received a very generous tip, say $100. Well, I guess that's a little bit impossible. Say $50. Tip. So after your shift, you decide, well, what should I spend on this $50? You have two options: either to save it, or enjoy it by, I don't know, having a good meal, have some hot pot, whatever. Spend it right now. So when you save it, there's a timeline. You couldn't spend it for the next year, and you can only spend it after 1 year. And the annual interest rate is, say, maybe 1%. If you spend it, well, no interest anymore, but at least you enjoy it right now. Enjoy your life. So what's the opportunity cost if you spend the $50 right now? And I know I have very bad handwriting, I acknowledge that. I'm sorry if you have a hard time to read anything. I will try my best to just always speak out of the words that I'm writing. But if you have any questions, if you look back to the videos, you're like, oh, what is this word, or what on earth that I'm looking at right now, email me, and I will try to decipher it for you. But sometimes even when I look back to my handwriting after maybe 2 days or 3 days, I don't even know what I wrote. So, but again, just feel free to email me, to reach out to me. Don't feel like it's gonna offend me if you ask me, oh yeah, this I couldn't recognize the word. Well, don't feel that way. I'm always here to help. Okay. So what's the opportunity cost if you spend $50 right now? The opportunity cost of spending it is whatever you're giving up, right? When you spend it right now, what did you give up? You're giving up on the choice of saving it, right? And when you save it, you actually could have gotten some interest. So this is what you're giving up. The interest is what you're giving up. So it's 1% times $50, which is probably $1.5. So this is what you give up, and it's that easy. But of course, you may add something else. Say, well, I give up on investing this $50 on some stock or whatever. But in this case, we're specifically telling you only have two options. So don't overthink when you're doing questions like this. Okay, so I think that's pretty much it. And we don't have too much to cover for the first week. Mainly because we haven't done much yet, and the first lecture wasn't really didn't have a lot of materials that could be tested on. Most of them are conceptual. So maybe starting next week, I think we'll have more to cover. We'll have more to teach, and of course, when giving a discussion in physical contact, I can always have interactions, right? So I may ask, do you have any questions right now? And some students may ask questions. So that is like 15 minutes long. But when it's only me talking and writing down things, there's no any interactions, I may go very fast. So don't feel like, oh wait, maybe he's not teaching enough because it's not even a 15 minutes long video. Well, it's really just first of all, there isn't much to cover at this moment, and second of all, it's probably just gonna be always not. It's always not gonna be like 50 minutes. It's probably always gonna be like half hour or 40 minutes video because things go really fast when I'm just talking in front of a screen, talking to myself. Okay, and I hope that you enjoy this course, and see you next week.